Matt here, co-founder of Big League Clean. We built a 7-figure commercial cleaning business in under 3 years, and a big part of it was automations. And one of the automations that I'm going to show is not necessarily a revenue generator or a cash saver, but it's something that was super helpful to me and has been super helpful to me with organization. So this is the Monday operation dashboard. Basically, it's a briefing on a bunch of different information tied through automations and just general things that occurred in the previous week for Big League Clean and for myself. So I'm going to walk you guys through exactly how the automation works, but essentially it's an AI executive briefing of my entire business, automatically generated in audio. And it's in text as well, but in audio too, to make it even easier for any of you traveling on train, car, whatever it is, walking, driving to walkthroughs. You can get an AI voice generated version of it. So that's great to have. So I'm going to show you how it works and kind of go over it all right now. So most cleaning company owners I know spend their mornings on Monday the same way, right? Open Google Sheets, run reports, check who paid, check who didn't, look at last week's leads, blah, blah, blah. We're doing the same thing every week and we're all doing it, right? The critical things to run our business. Now, we try to remember which clients still owe us money. Typically, we see those organized in a list, but sometimes you just want to think of it and know what it looks like from a bird's eye view, right? You don't want to necessarily get a report generated. That takes time and effort from multiple people. So this is why I built this out. Basically, it gives me a bird's eye view of pretty much everything going on, which is what I was looking for. And every morning on Monday at 6 a.m., my entire business pretty much is reported to me through different information. You can control what information you actually get, but for me, I want to know the previous week's wins, problems, what to do today, basically all read out loud by AI as I'm drinking my coffee. So the problem normally is that cleaning company owners have data scattered across multiple different places, missed calls in one tab, leads in another, invoices in a third, scheduling in a fourth, right? And nothing's really connecting by the dots. But what I wanted was something that's connected, interconnected throughout my automations, throughout my schedule, throughout the operations that I'm running. Right? You might have 4 outstanding invoices. You might have 8 leads last week that weren't answered quickly. Like all this stuff, it adds up. And I think it's super important to have an understanding of the data points in your business. That's kind of why I built this. So I'll run you guys through it. So as you can see here, webhook, which we have in pretty much every automation, it's a data point being established, or it's an established data point, which is a trigger that essentially then goes ahead and triggers this automation. So every Monday, 6 a.m., for me, it's Pacific time, it's going to trigger, and then it's going to basically let me demand whatever I want a fresh briefing on. As you can see here, AI briefing Gemini, and then weekly stats. So it's pulling in the weekly stats, and then it's going through AI Gemini. Now, first, the system pulls the week's data, the missed calls, the new enriched lead, the manual call lists, and it's going to give me a bird's eye view into all of this. Now, this is where it ties into the data from every other workflow that we actually built. So if you go to my other videos, you'll see the other automations we have built. This is going to take in the data from those automations and connect it all together, almost like a second brain for you. So they all feed into this. So then the actual brain, right? The system's going to take all the data and send it to Gemini AI with a very specific prompt. And I don't ask it to summarize numbers because anyone can summarize numbers, right? It's nice to have it, so it can do it. But more so what I look for is patterns. Things I didn't ask it to look for originally. Things that maybe are in blind spots for me, for my business partner, for our business in general. I wanted to find stuff through all the data that's being fed, and I think this is the really valuable part. Things that are sliding, right? Specific clients who need attention, specific trends. Give me action items, ranked by ROI. What comes back is really not a data dump. It's like a CEO underneath me briefing a COO. Right? And I see that kind of that information going together. Now, here's the part that if people have this together, that's awesome. And I think it's a really valuable system. But what takes it up one notch is you can have the AI written briefing and run it through what is 11 labs, essentially. So it's voice to text, or text to voice in a human sounding file. You can share this file with team members, 90-second MP3, right? And I think it's really nice. It's like a podcast version of my Monday morning. So then it emails everything to me, and the full text briefings in the body plus the MP3 audio attached. And by 6:01 a.m. Monday morning, the email's in my inbox. I'm in the car listening to it, and super nice. Zero scrolling, zero spreadsheets, right? Zero thinking required. And that's it. That's the system. So it pulls data, finds patterns, writes it up, or finds whatever you want it to find, using other automations, the data in your company, voices it, sends it, and that is the beauty of it. And then lastly, and most importantly, what it actually looks like. So I'll show you, and sounds like. So this is what it looks like for me, and you can adjust it, right, to however you like, and you can adjust the Gemini prompt. Genuinely how it looks like for me. Generally how it looks like for me. And then clicking on, so you can kind of get an idea of the 11 labs that guy chatting right there. But that is it though. That is the automation.